This podcast is sponsored by Happy Warrior Kava. Be a happy warrior. Drink, relax, and enjoy the strong and smooth taste of the best-selling kava in the islands. Happy Warrior Kava.
Aloha and welcome to another episode of HNN Overtime, the Hawaii News Now sports podcast. I am Kyle Chinen, joined as always by Cienna Pilotin, Davis Pitner, coming to you from the HNN Digital Center.
Yep.
The gang is back
We're
together.
We're back at
again.
it. Sienna's here.
Yes. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday,
everyone.
Oh, wait.
Hello. There we go.
Hello.
All right.
My name is Russell.
I am a wilderness explorer. Will you need any assistance today? It's okay. We can keep rolling. We haven't been on as a group in a while, so the room isn't ready for us, apparently.
It wasn't ready.
The studio wasn't
It couldn't
prepared.
handle us all together again.
It's too much aura.
It was.
That's a good word for it.
Yeah, a lot of aura. But welcome back, everybody.
We're all here again.
Yeah, we've all been so busy.
Really has, yeah.
You know, the summer was crazy, then into fall sports.
Especially start of football for you guys.
Yep.
I mean,
It
you've been
happened so
nonstop
quick.
Friday nights.
Whew. Yeah.
UH.
It's
all back.
It's all back, but I'm glad we're all back together to do an episode again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We'll get right into it.
Let's do it.
Speaking of UH, the Rainbow Warriors football team in the throes of the season.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit last week, Davis. We had high hopes, but it was a tough...
I feel like that seems to be the case every week.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
We're a very hopeful podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think
very
a lot of
positive.
UH fans are.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, especially last week, you assume you were going to win that one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough... Their road woes continued to haunt them. They fall to Sam Houston in Texas, 31-13. Just a very rough outing for this team that seems to change their entire identity the minute they step foot on an airplane. I don't want to sound rude, but that's kind of the case.
Yeah, they don't travel well.
Yeah, they
No,
don't.
they really don't.
For whatever reason, I don't know.
And this was going to be a hard game for them. I mean, homecoming game for Sam Houston. They were rocking out the all oranges, as
Like
we were saying
Clemson
last
out
week.
there.
Clemson.
A little bit of Clemson action. Briefly, going through the stats, everyone,
Give it
because you
to
know
us.
I got them. Braden Shager,
Oh, but yeah,
I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
I think he would agree with
Yeah.
you.
Definitely.
I mean, it wasn't a bad game. It wasn't 2 interceptions like we saw the week before. So he went 21 for 42, 252 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He had 12 carries, 22 yards, which is a good thing. It kind of means, he got a little banged up recently. He was able to get back into it again. So at least he's able to move around. Let's see, just going through. Got to mention Pofele Ashlock. He is continuing to have a standout year. 8 receptions, 84 yards, and a touchdown. Fun fact about Pofele Ashlock, he is now ranked 28th in the nation for receiving yards with 277 overall. Braden Shager is ranked 42 in the nation for passing yards, 682 yards. And Kyle, you and I kind of mentioned it before last week about this Sam Houston team, and the biggest thing that we were bringing up is this dual threat quarterback in Hunter Watson. We kind of saw his highlights before. There he is, number 10. We kind of saw him before. He had a lot of yards rushing, and that was the case for this game as well. He went 15 for 23, 165 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 10 carries for 45 yards. But for that game, it was the rushing attack that kind of killed UH. Their running back, Jay Ducker, had 15 carries for 148 yards. I think one big carry during that game was an 84-yard run or something like that. One little last highlight also, Braden Shager, big congrats to you. He did pass 7,000 yards in that game, one of only 4 other UH quarterbacks that made it that far. He also, with that 1 touchdown, ties Chevin Cordero.
Whoa, that's a name we haven't heard in a while.
6th all-time in passing touchdowns, guys. Those are my stats for the game. So once again, big rushing game for Sam Houston.
Huge rushing game. I mean, it's one of the tougher games to watch when they're just running on every play, and Hawaii's defense just couldn't do anything. Like, it was a slow burn, and it hurt.
It was just getting gashed. Yeah,
for Hawaii and the fans. Like, it's one thing to lose to Sam Houston, but to lose in this fashion, it's tough, man.
It was tough, and I mean, going into the half, it wasn't too much of a. They were down a couple possessions. They score on their first drive, and there's a little bit of life, but that second half, the Bearcats really took over. Another stat that Davis has here on our list that I want to bring up that I think is also one of the things that the team has been struggling in is the run game. Cam Barfield only had 5 carries for 24 yards.
Yeah.
That doesn't help them set up the run and shoot. They need to run to be able to shoot. So it kind of puts them in a pickle to where they're now 3rd and long, second and long in these situations as opposed to 3rd and manageable, 3rd and short, or converting and, getting a first down. So it kills drives. Another thing that kills drives are penalties. 14 penalties for over 100-something yards. That was something that was very shocking to me, to say the least, just to see, UH gets a little bit of momentum. They get a first down. Then they get backed all the way up for a personal foul, offsides, holding, things like that, that just essentially kills momentum and kills drives. And that's something that they want to fix, and they've been talking about it all year. But to get 14 penalties on the road is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen?
It's insane.
One thing that I don't understand about this team still is that it seems like we play a good first 2 quarters of the game. We'll get a touchdown or 2. That second half, it's like they kind of just lose all their momentum. And then it's like they start losing it. The other team starts to pick it back up. And, we saw that with, like, UCLA also. They started off really hot. And
I mean, Kyle and I were talking about this for the UCLA game. It's just UH always comes out. Their script is always so good. Like, they practice it all week. They know exactly what plays they're going to run. They come out firing. They look so good. And everyone's like, wow, we got them on their heels. Like, we could win this one. And then the other team makes adjustments. Hawaii doesn't. And that, I mean, that's always a game changer. They always give up a big lead because their first couple drives are always scripted really well. Credit to that offense and Timmy Chang. But you gotta, like, come 3rd quarter, 4th quarter, when the other team is fighting back, you gotta make adjustments, and the play call has to change at a certain point. And so I think that's something they're still working through. There's no easy fix for that, but it's tough because you do see what the team could be. Their first 3 drives, you're like, wow, this team has it, and then they don't.
Yeah, it's that adjustment on the fly. Either
Which is
out
hard.
of it's
a
hard.
lot of head coaches struggle with that. A lot of teams struggle with that.
And they're going to have to change some things for this upcoming game because it is not going to be a easy one.
No.
I'm going to play some B-roll actually. So they're playing the Uni Panthers. For those who are kind of confused by that, it's Northern Iowa.
The University of Northern Iowa.
University
Shout out Iowa.
of Northern Iowa. I want to give a shout out to actually their social media team. I don't know if you guys saw it. So the Uni Panthers, they played Nebraska last week. Nebraska is probably one of the top teams in the nation, 3-0. Everyone's heard about them. They played Nebraska last week, absolutely got killed. But their social media team came out with probably one of the best videos I've seen in a while. Due to copyright reasons, we can't play the sound.
Okay.
I suggest you guys to go check it out. But they came out with a really cool highlight video of the team going to Nebraska. And
looking like LSU out here.
Yeah, a little bit of LSU
Those
colors.
Tigers.
A little bit of gold and purple action. So as this is playing, just kind of looking at that game, Uni completely got killed by Nebraska, 34-3. 34-3. Their quarterback went 13 for 25, 114 yards and 1 interception.
I like this vlog.
Not too many stats, and so just because Nebraska was such a good team, I'm going to look at the game before 4 then for
I really like the
some other
uniforms.
stats.
It's clean.
Yeah.
It's very clean. So looking at the other game, the biggest highlight that I want to
No place like Nebraska.
kind of throw in there is that this is a very heavy rushing team. And so kind of
Might be
looking
an
at the
issue.
stats, their running back, Ty Edwards, is probably their biggest weapon. So they faced University of St. Thomas. Previously, he had 15 carries for 141 yards. Looking at their first game, that running back, Ty Edwards, also had 15 carries for 174 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
So this is a very, very good running back. So their rushing game is going to be probably the heart for them in this game. It's going to be the main thing. A little bit of stats courtesy of Hawaii Athletics, UH. Once again, we always got to give a shout out to them. Hawaii and Northern Iowa met once previously during the 2014 season in Honolulu. UH ended up winning by just a field goal.
Oh.
And another fun fact, this actually is pretty interesting. What I didn't know, UH and Uni are actually linked together by one famous person.
Yeah.
Stan Sheriff, if you've heard of him.
Sheriff.
Stan Sheriff.
Iconic.
So he actually was the head football coach at Uni for 23 years and the athletic director for 13 years before coming over to Hawaii. And of course, everyone has heard of the Stan Sheriff Center,
Yep.
so you
Yeah.
kind of know the impact that he had here.
Legend. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
That's
and
a cool
our
connection.
very own Mark Carpenter is doing a story on that tonight. So if you tune into Hawaii News Now, you'll learn more about that connection.
Yeah.
Previewing the game tomorrow. So that's exciting.
That's pretty
I mean,
cool.
yeah, I don't think a lot of people knew that. So that's what, like, tying a Northern Iowa to
Yeah.
Hawaii.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
crazy,
That's a
but
tough one, but
yeah, we found it.
I mean, yeah. And another stat here, which should go in UH's favor, but again, like you said, the rush offense is going to test this defense, which has shown flashes these first 3 games of the year. Don't get me wrong, they're a much improved unit from a year prior. But under Timmy Chang, UH is 3-0 against FCS opponents, including a 35-14 season opening victory over Del State. So, you know, UH being an FBS program, and the FCS opponent in Northern Iowa coming to town should bode well for Hawaii, but you just never know what team we're going to see take the field on Saturday. That's the thing. They just got to get more consistent.
Yeah.
The consistency is key if they want to just string together a couple wins, especially this being the last non-conference game before they head into the Mountain West schedule. And they open this Mountain West schedule against San Diego State, which is not a easy task. So we'll definitely see. Shout out to Northern Iowa, though. They are in Cedar Falls, Iowa, which is not anywhere near where I went to school in Iowa, but shout out to the Midwest.
Yeah, Kyle.
Kyle will always shout out the Midwest.
Always
gotta
shout out.
shout out the Midwest.
And this team, UH just has to run the ball. They just
Yeah.
have to mix it up. It's clear that their passing game is good. Like Braden
It's
has
there.
been, he's been passing the ball. Pofele
many
Ashlock has been
options.
nonstop.
Yeah.
So they have that passing game down. They just got to run the ball. You got, I mean, running the ball opens up more for
playbook,
big
yeah.
plays.
Yeah.
So I mean, is that something they're going to change? Hopefully.
I think people hope so. And Landon Sims is a good back. They just have to utilize him correctly.
Yep.
And then that'll kind of open the field for the rest of the wide receivers to, get open. The defense
Right.
will be on their heels. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting one. At this point, we just all don't know what's
Yeah.
going to happen. I think a couple weeks ago we thought we knew what was going to happen, and now
Things have shifted.
things are totally shifted, which is entertaining, but I think everyone here at least wants to see Hawaii win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd like to not have to check their blood pressure every time
So
UH plays a
stressful,
game.
man.
Yeah.
It is stressful.
Yeah. And yeah, the running back room, you have Landon Sims, you have Cam Barfield. Like, it's a kind of good 1-2 punch if you think about it. Cam Barfield's kind of that shiftier, catching passes out the backfield type of back, speed guy, and Landon will run you over. He's one of those power backs. So you would think on paper that the running game would be there, but
Yeah.
they have to figure that out. Now, shifting from the gridiron to the diamond, we have to talk about someone that is featured on the show quite a bit.
Way too often.
Way too
Station favorite, I would say.
A station-wide favorite.
Speaking of which, one of our
favorite.
producers, once again, is wearing a Shohei shirt.
Yes, we have to talk about Shohei Ohtani. The man, the myth, the legend just keeps making his legend and his myth even greater. Last night against Miami, he became the only and the first member of the 50-50 club. He now has over 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in a single season. He has 51 on the homers and 51 on stolen bases, and that was a milestone moment for Shohei. I watched the video off the broadcast yesterday, and man, was that electric.
Yeah, it really was.
Granted, no offense to the Miami Marlins, but there wasn't a lot of people in that stadium.
It was empty.
It was pretty empty, but those in attendance got to witness history in the Dodgers 20-4 win over Miami. Yep.
Really fast. You mentioned history. I want you guys to look at the sign really fast.
That's sick.
I don't know if you guys saw that sign. It's going to zoom in a little bit closer. This person skipped math to watch history.
That's cool.
Who needs math at the end of the day?
Who really needs math?
The only math you need to know is that Shohei's now 51 for 51. And I mean, look at how happy he is, man. He
deserves that.
Some stats. He went 6 for 6 at the plate with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs.
That's so crazy.
I was reading some articles. It's kind of clear that he really is going for the greatest baseball player of all time.
100%.
He's going for that right now. And if he keeps it up at this rate, like, I'm pretty sure he can be. Sure he can.
I think with the win last night, the Dodgers are in the postseason, so this is going to be Shohei's first trip to the postseason, which is crazy.
Finally.
Which is crazy to think that the Angels were so bad.
So bad. They wasted him and Trout's whole career. Well, not whole career, but you guys have superstars, all-time legendary superstars, and you can't make the postseason.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I'm very happy for him. Obviously, I'm biased because I like the Dodgers, but just in general, I want to see this guy succeed. So he is, exceeding all expectations.
I know there were a lot of question marks too about that whole entire $700 million deal with him. Whether that was too much money, and I gotta say that was the right price.
I think it's paying off right now.
I think it's paying off right now.
Anything is too much for this guy.
And it's just crazy to see old reports from pro baseball scouts when he was coming from Japan to the majors, and then he won't be able to hit a major league pitch. He's proving all of that wrong, and it's just so cool.
And I'm excited to see too. He's not only this, he's a pitcher as well, and we haven't even seen him do that yet.
Yeah.
So once he starts doing that, he's a
superstar, man.
He's gonna be a superstar.
That's a good problem to have when you're winning games and you don't need him to pitch and you can just have him at the plate. That's just so. It's LA is in good hands right now with him, Mookie Betts. It's crazy. Like Cienna keeps saying, it's crazy that the Angels never made it to the postseason with Trout and Ohtani on the same team.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
All right, guys, for today's Under Review segment, let's talk about a hot topic that I came across actually today. And when I mean hot, I'm meaning straight out of the oven, guys. Straight out of the oven. And we're talking about pepperoni pizza, actually. Today is actually National Pepperoni Pizza Day, everyone.
That is a hot topic day.
It is a hot topic, straight out of the oven. Straight out of the oven, guys. So people are celebrating one of the world's favorite foods today. Is Pepperoni Pizza Day. Now, according to the National Day calendar, pepperoni is the most popular type of pizza ever created, in quotes.
Whoa,
what is that one?
And a YouGov survey finds pepperoni is America's favorite pizza topping. As far as history, it's believed the pepperoni pizza was invented in 1889 to honor the Queen of Italy. To celebrate, you can make it a pizza night with family or friends. Maybe go out to a pizzeria or make it at home. And if you share your activities on social media, remember to use the hashtag Pepperoni Pizza Day when posting.
Interesting.
So, guys, hot topic. What are your thoughts about pepperoni pizza? Is that your favorite topping?
That's a no for Kyle.
It's a no.
That's a solid no from Kyle.
I'm a very plain person. I do love a good cheese pizza, but then I'm not gonna lie, I like a good veggie pizza. Like I love the green bell peppers, onions, mushrooms.
I can dig that.
I love a good veggie pizza. It's weird, and then like if pepperoni's there, I'm gonna eat it. Best believe I'm gonna eat it. But yeah, I'm very much a plain kind of guy when it comes to pizza.
Yeah, I'm a cheese girl, but my second would be pepperoni.
Yeah.
I do like pepperoni. I don't mind her. To me, pizza's pizza. Like, can't go wrong.
You can't go
But
wrong with
I
it.
do like her a little thicker.
Here in Oahu, the go-to pizza for Mel and I is kind of like what you were saying, Kyle. A little bit of like a veggie kind of pizza with like sausage on top.
Okay.
We're big like olive, peppers, all of that type of
From where?
family.
Yeah, from
Where
where?
would
We
you get
usually
her?
go. Why am I blanking on the name? Pearl Ridge.
Pyology?
Pyology. I don't know. I was
That's a good
blanking on the
one.
name.
I like
Pyology.
Pyology is good. We love the make your own
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
pizza. Throw everything on top.
Whenever
So-
I go to Pyology, though, I'm big on like chicken. I don't know what it is.
Their
I-
chicken's good
I
there,
love
yeah.
I love a
Chicken
good
is
chicken
good.
Pizza.
Yeah, I could dig that.
Chicken topping. If it's not Pyology though, I actually recently, because shout out to my brother DC. When he was in college, he used to work at Papa John's, so we used to get a lot of Papa John's, and I appreciate Papa John's because I'm
Yeah.
a big thin slice guy. Like I like my pizza thin,
Okay.
like a little not.
You
Like,
get a little crisp,
a
like
little
a little,
crispy,
yeah.
but like nice and thin, crispy. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Like the New York style.
yeah, like a
thin.
new, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we used to get a lot of Papa John's, but also shout out to the college days when a
Yes.
Little Caesars hot and ready was always there for you by your
That's
side.
true.
That was good.
No matter what.
With the cheesy bread. Oh, that's my favorite.
That's different.
yes.
Yeah, that's different.
See, what's your
So,
like go-to
my
place?
favorite, if we're talking only here on Oahu, Pizza Hut. Like it's just so.
Okay, all
I
right.
will go to Pyology. I go to Pizza Press. I go to all these places. Jay Dolan's, great
Yeah,
pizza.
Jay Dolan's, yeah.
But like. Just a couple days ago was my birthday, and my family
Happy
was
birthday
like,
to you.
"Thank you." Well, happy birthday to you as well.
September's
We both have
Virgos.
very-
The
yeah, we're very close
Virgos.
birthdays. So it was my birthday, and my family was like, "Family's coming over. What do you want? We'll get you anything for dinner." And I just want a Pizza Hut. So
Period.
Wow.
we got a
Yeah.
bunch of pizza,
Period
had it
right
for
there.
days, and that was just like my
Ooh.
favorite birthday dinner. So
That's pretty good.
yeah, just cheese Pizza Hut.
You know what I had recently too? When I went to Chicago
Oh, here we go.
for the DNC?
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Deep dish pizza.
Yeah.
Deep dish pizza.
Ooh.
See, you know what
Whole
I
different
yeah.
world, yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I had to distinct my favorite on Oahu is Pizza Hut. If we're talking like worldwide or statewide, I like Giordano's. That they have that in Las Vegas where I used to live, and they also have it in Chicago. So
That
that's
like
my,
in
and that's
Chicago?
like it's
Oh,
like this.
okay.
Yeah, it's.
I think we went to like Luminetti's.
Lou
or
Malnati's or something.
Yeah.
I've been there too.
So yeah, we
good.
went there, and
pizza.
if we're talking statewide as well, I don't know if I can go back
Should've
to a
been this
normal,
big. Yeah.
a normal pizza
I know,
after that,
it's
because that
hard.
is like just so it's just filled with meat and
Yeah.
everything. I remember our
Meat, cheese,
reporter
sauce.
Daryl Huff and I.
Puffy.
We like open up the
Puffy.
box. We're like, oh my god, like
Puffy,
that is
yeah.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never had a deep dish pizza or Chicago style pizza, but I've always wanted to try it. And the way you guys describe it,
Very good.
because like you know, I see the video of like all the cheese.
cheese pull,
oh,
yeah.
cheese.
Yeah.
That is one of my bucket list things. Also, another side note, it's just funny to think like when we go on work trips, the food that we get is like we just be eating, but like Daryl isn't built like us, so just imagining.
I was like, I'm skinny.
I was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna eat a sandwich for lunch and that's it. And I'm like, no, we would
I
be
want
like,
Chipotle
Yeah,
or
yeah.
In-N-Out.
we had
True.
Chipotle, Chick-fil-A.
Which I get it. That's me too on those
Yeah.
trips. Like, just gain so much weight because you got to get all your mainland food in.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I was totally prepared for that. Daryl, fun fact, very healthy guy actually.
He is.
We went to the
Yeah,
store,
doesn't surprise
made
me.
sure we had our fruits and
Oh,
everything. Fruits and yogurt for breakfast.
Yogurt.
Yeah, he would make some sausage though. Shout out to Daryl. Actually,
breakfast burrito.
it
then
wasn't
I
a
don't
breakfast
want it.
burrito like we always got. It
We found
wasn't.
that we found that hole in the wall place in LA
Local
for
place.
men's volleyball
Yeah.
real quick. We had so many breakfast burritos.
Yeah. I think we had a breakfast burrito every day.
every single day. But no, yeah, I mean, I would always wanted to try a Chicago deep dish, which I'm very jealous of you guys. But yeah,
I think your life will change as soon
feel
as
like
you
it
try
is
it.
life-changing.
It is
feel like
life-changing.
it will.
It was for me.
I do like cheese, yeah. And those cheese pull videos.
Yeah.
Oh, iconic. But
Almost as iconic as this podcast.
Yeah.
Kyle.
that's a good one. I think it's time we send it off for today.
Sure.
Thank you so much for listening or watching to this episode of HNN Overtime. We're going to put the QR code up right here. It'll show up somewhere right over there. Yeah. That's where you can find all of our previous episodes. So you can go listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. The video version is going to be on our YouTube channel, the HNN YouTube channel. And we're going to keep pushing the HNN Overtime Instagram.
Yes.
We will be posting more on there. We promise.
No spaces.
No
Follow
spaces.
us.
No space. You won't
Follow
find
us.
us. You won't find us
You won't
if you
find
put
us.
a space.
You just won't find us. But for Cienna Pilotin, Davis Pitner, I'm Kyle Chinen. Thanks so much for listening and watching. Aloha.
This podcast is sponsored by Happy Warrior Kava. Be a happy warrior. Drink, relax, and enjoy the strong and smooth taste of the best-selling kava in the islands. Happy Warrior Kava.